Welcome to Beauty Over 50. Today I'm really excited to talk about a brand new, extremely useful and practical palette by Natasha Denona. It is her new release, a mini eye sculpt palette. Today I'm excited about going over the shades and also trying on this product. I'm interested in how it works for me in terms of camouflaging my hooded eyes and at the same time creating a very natural lift. This is such a practical and useful palette. It starts with a creamy color and works its way through shades of brown to a very intense black. Apparently the two lighter shades are more of a silky formulation, which is perfect for placing it on your inner eye, dabbing it on the very inner corner of your eye. Now, these last three colors apparently are more of a creamy formula, which is wonderful for blending, which is what we do with our darker shades. So I am really excited to get started. More about the practicality of this palette. You know, a lot of eyeshadow palettes come with really, fun names for the shades, uninterrupted, day at the beach, stuff like that. This is very practical. She's just named this one fair, light, medium, deep, and black. That's it. How more straightforward can you get? I thought that even the boxing was practical and helpful. It includes a diagram on one technique that you could follow along with if you'd like. Before starting with how I would apply the shadow, I did want to take a closer look at the diagram that Natasha Denona has included on the boxing. I won't be applying this darker color all the way down to my inner eye. I'll be using this same color here, all in here. And I won't be taking the bottom shadow and bringing it all the way to my inner eye. I'll be ending probably around here. Let's take a quick look at the shades. The first one here is called Fair, and it is a silky matte off-white color. Next up is this light shade. This is also a silky matte shade and is perfect for a transition color. That's how I'm going to be using it. The middle color here is called Medium, and that is perfect for the crease. This is a creamy matte finish, and it's a sort of a cool nude color in my opinion. The medium color is the color I will be using to create more dimension in terms of camouflaging the hooded eye. I will also be using this color here, Deep, for the outer corners of my eye, which also helps very much with dimension. These two colors here will also be perfect for the under eye, and I believe that this deep color is also useful for an eyeliner look if you don't want to be as intense as using the black. This black one at the end is also very buildable, very blendable, creamy formulation. It could be used lightly as a shadow for a smoky eye look. You can also use it more intensely as a liner, which I will be doing. And again, just very useful. Let's talk about the name, Mini Eye Sculpt Palette. That is a perfect name for this palette and is perfect for mature hooded eyes. When I create an eyeshadow look for myself, trying to camouflage my hooded eyes, the use of matte shadows is essential. I do use shimmers and glitters and all of that stuff strategically, but in order to create the look, in order to create the dimension and camouflage the hooded eye here, in my opinion, can only be done with a matte shadow. Any kind of shimmer shadow never goes on this part of my lid. But I love a little shimmer in here and in the center of my lid. And sometimes if I'm creating an evening look, I might add some shimmery dark shadow just at the very end of my eye there, but never on this part of the lid. Some people like using shimmery shadows too under their eyebrow. I tend to stay away from that as well. I prefer having a matte lighter shade going on there. Basically, this whole part of my eye, I only use matte shadows. This part and the lid, and sometimes underneath, I'm happy to use shimmers. So this palette is perfect and, in my opinion, essential for camouflaging the hooded eyes. So I have all my makeup on right now except for my eye makeup. I do have my eyeshadow primer and my concealer on, as well as my setting powders. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the shadow how I would use it for a daytime neutral look. First off, I'm going to use my MAC Fluffy 217 brush. I do have a large collection of MAC brushes. Some of them are over 10 years old. They've just been through bazillions of washings and they still come out like new. They work great. I've added other brushes over time, but typically on a day-to-day basis, I'll reach for the ones that I know are reliable, and that would usually be my MAC brushes. Starting with the color Fair, I'm applying it all over my lid. I'll be using it more later on for my inner eye and under my eyebrow, but I like to apply something like this all over at first. It just gives a really nice neutral base canvas for the rest of the colors and the blending. Next up, I'm going to wipe my 217 brush off on my magic eraser. I like to use this in between shades if I'm using the same brush. It works great just to get the shadow off. Next up, I'm going to use this shade here, Light. This is just going to be my transition shade that I'll use all over my lid, my upper lid, and that kind of sets the stage for the next step, which is really to apply the darker shadow to camouflage the hooded eye. Starting in the outer corner and working my way in. This 217 brush does a wonderful job of just getting in your crease and blending. It's an excellent tool. I go up fairly close to my eyebrow, but I do leave a little space there where I may go back in later and use the Fair. This is the fun part next, where I take a darker color and I start creating dimension and camouflaging the hooded eye. For this, I use a denser brush. I'll be using this brush here. This is a MAC 233 shadow brush. It has denser bristles, which will allow me to place the shadow more strategically. For this step, I'm going to be using the color here, Medium. At this point, we're trying to create dimension. So we're going to place the shadow in alignment to the end of my eyebrow. I tend to sort of look straight ahead while I'm doing it. And you're going to want to place the shadow right along here so that this hooded area appears more pushed back. I stop at about here. How far in you choose to go really depends on your own eye shape. I start from the outside, I work my way in. I prefer to build on the shadow, so just start light and add more as needed. At this point, we're going to do some blending. Let's just go ahead and blend that in so that the edges are smooth and more blurred. And I'm going ahead and doing that again with my 217 brush, my fluffy blending brush that I used at the beginning. Just some nice circular motions. Next, I'm going to take a smaller, more precision shadow brush. This time, I'm going to go back into the fair. And I'm going to apply it to the center of my lid and my inner lid. I'll also take the same brush and just do a little pop on the very inner eye. Just gives a little bit of brightness to the eyes. I'm going to take that same small shadow brush, and after wiping it off on my magic eraser, I'm going to go in and work on my lower lid. For the lower lid, I'm going to go back into the color medium here. I may use something darker, but for now I think I prefer to try with a lighter color first. So dipping that in, I'm just going to go along my bottom lash line. After I've worked on my bottom lids, I'm going to take the same small shadow brush, dip it in the medium, and I'm going to add more to my outer eye, just to give it a little bit more dimension. And just flick it up even a little bit right there. Again, I go back in and do some blending. I could leave the look at this. It's very nice for a daytime look. I would just go and add some eyeliner and my mascara. But typically, I would probably go in and add a shimmer shadow just right here and in the very corners, just to give my eyes a little bit more of a pop. The color I would probably choose to add to this eyeshadow look would be my MAC Naked Lunch. I talked about that shimmer shadow in a previous video when I did a MAC neutral eyeshadow look. Naked Lunch is a perfect shimmer shadow. It's a champagne-y color that just goes with everything. So I could end this look by just adding a little bit of the Naked Lunch here and here, then go ahead with my eyeliner and mascara, and again, call it a day. Because this is such a new palette to me and I'm having fun experimenting with it, I think I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to create a really heavy smoky eye look. I think I'll do that on another day, but I will add some more color, some more depth. To do that, I'm going to go into this color here, which is deep, and I'm going to apply it a little bit more to the outer corner of my eye and just under my crease to create even more dimension than we currently have. I put it along in the crease there. Again, I'm going to take my 217 brush and go ahead and blend that in. At this point, if I wanted to add even more dimension, I'm going to take my small shadow brush in the color light and I'm just going to emphasize my underbrow a little bit. I'm going to add a little more fair to the inner eye just to create more contrast and dimension than I had before. I have 3 dogs and they've been pretty active barking today. One of them's a puppy. It's a bit of a handful. You won't see me doing any nail videos anytime soon. My nails are just completely shot with the 3 dogs. I've kind of given up on that. I'll stick with the eyeshadow for now. So that's a bit of a darker look that I'm getting with it. It's certainly not an evening smoky eye or anything too dramatic, but for me, this is a very solid neutral daytime look. As far as eyeliner goes for this look, I think what I'll do is I will use my eyeliner under my upper waterline, and I might use a little bit of brown on the outer edges. I don't really have that much in the way of lashes on the outer corners of my eyes, so I typically add a little bit of eyeliner there just to help it blend in with the rest of my lashes. For the upper eyeliner, I think I'm going to do my upper waterline, but I'm going to add some of this color here in black to my upper lid, just right at my lash line. I don't want to use up this valuable real estate right here when you have hooded eyes, so keeping any liner either on your upper waterline or very close to your lashes is pretty important. I'll be using my Bobbi Brown eye definer brush, but any very small, tightly packed eyeliner brush will work fine for this. For this, I'm going to use the color black. I'm going to start at the center of my lid and work my way out. At this point, you could also add an eyeliner wing if that's something that you like. I don't typically put the wing on my eye. It just doesn't really suit my eye shape. And when I do, I will do it with more of a heavy eyeshadow look, like a smoky eye look. Sometimes then I will add a wing. At some point, I'd like to do a video on the types of wings that I use for my more mature eyes. They're not the same as the ones that I see young people use that, you know, come way out here. But that's for another day. So that's the eyeshadow look. I'm gonna go ahead and put on my eyeliner and mascara and come back to you guys with the finished look. So that's it, that's the look. I've gone ahead and put on my eyeliner and my mascara, and I love the look. I've had a lot of fun playing with the shadow. I think it's very versatile. I'm really looking forward to a video where I try to create a very dramatic smoky eye look using more of the deep color and the intense black. This is a perfect travel palette. I will be bringing it with me. I will probably complement it with just a single shadow of MAC's Naked Lunch in my travel bag so that if I want to add a little shimmer, I know I'm good to go. So far, I love this palette. It's practical, it's useful, it's compact, it can be combined with many other different shadows that I have, and I'm looking forward to another video of something more intense. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, please give it a thumbs up, and I would love for you to subscribe to our community. Until next time, take care. Bye.